now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A man near the Dallas accused of killing his stepmother with a hammer. And a new health clinic in East Palestine for residents to receive care after the toxic train derailment is under scrutiny.
A historic three-day winter storm affecting most of the U.S.
We're not going to see snow, but we're going to see some fog as winds start to die down. We'll talk all about that and more.
The Supreme Court says Title 42 will remain in place while legal challenges continue to play out. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm James Munoz.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
A 73-year-old man from Seadrift killed in a head-on crash. This just before 7 o'clock this morning. Furman Rodriguez died at the scene. It happened along FM 1593 outside Jackson County. The DPS says a 19-year-old in a car going north on FM 1593 made a left turn and crashed into the truck Rodriguez was in. Troopers say Rodriguez was going south on FM 1593 and did not have a seatbelt fastened. He was thrown from that truck. The 19-year-old in the car was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
A man is killing his stepmother with a hammer on Sunday. An affidavit says 29-year-old Mason Craig was dog sitting for his father and stepmother in Sherman, about 70 miles north of Dallas. When his father was about to drive him to his house, Craig reportedly confessed he killed his stepmother. Police then found her body on a bathroom floor.
She was killed with a blunt force instrument, a hammer. There were some other injuries.
Police believe Craig may have had a medical episode, possibly under the influence of drugs. Craig's father says he has bipolar disorder. Craig is now charged with murder and is in jail on a $1.5 million bond. Victoria police are investigating the death of an 8-month-old baby. It happened this Wednesday morning around 6 o'clock in the 2000 block of Sam Houston Drive.
Two massive storms moving across the country, putting nearly the entire country on alert from California to Connecticut.
160 million Americans are under strong winds, blizzard, avalanche danger, and ice alerts.
A week of extremes across the country, the warmest Mardi Gras on record in New Orleans. And in Minneapolis, people are bracing for one of the biggest snowstorms since the 1880s, the state activating the National Guard.
Officials have outright said travel's not going to be difficult, it's going to be impossible.
In New Jersey, a February tornado confirmed near Trenton, the state's first in February since 1999.
I heard the thunder first, and then the wind came right after that, but it's the strongest wind that I ever felt.
From California to Connecticut, 43 states, 160 million Americans under winter weather warnings. Just outside of Los Angeles, a rare blizzard warning in the mountains for the first time in more than 20 years. And in Utah, snowplows out in force trying to keep the roads clean. In South Dakota, workers putting in extra hours as drivers face treacherous conditions and low visibility.
It could be pretty rough as we get towards the end of the week here. Our plow operators have been out since yesterday. They're back on their 12-hour shifts.
And the theme of extremes continues here on the East Coast. Some cities in the South like Raleigh and Orlando seeing their warmest February temperatures ever, while New York and New England are bracing for an icy mix and treacherous travel. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
You know, with grocery prices continuing to climb in the U.S., Americans in 35 states now are bracing for the end of the pandemic-era food stamps March 1st.
And this sets the stage for a potential rise in food insecurity. So here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to participate. The question is, should extra SNAP benefits continue due to high grocery store prices? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. Don and I will have an update on 25 News Now at 6.
All right, let's turn our attention to weather. Howie Gordon, how cold is it going to get this week?
That's a good question, James. I mean, here we are, temperatures pushing 90 in some spots. Yeah, we're going to get knocked down to 80 or 78 degrees. That'll be a little chillier, but that is still above average temperature-wise. Okay, so on the coast, 75. Look at that, away from the water, still in the 90s in some spots. What's happening, though, this boundary is bringing this warm air in. Then we're going to see it kind of push through and cool us down a little bit With the lack of winds, though, after that boundary push through, that's going to start to change our fog problem. Here's our winds, not too bad, but here's what we're dealing with. Future visibility, look at that. The fog returns as the winds go away. So, yeah, we're going to be a little cooler, but, hey, fog is really the main objective. You want to drive it on the careful and the slow side. Only 67 overnight, looking at that patchy fog. We're going to cool down. We're still going to stay above average, though. We'll talk more about that coming up. Karina, James?
Thank you, Howie. The Ohio Department of Health has set up a medical clinic in East Palestine where a train carrying toxic chemicals derailed earlier this month.
But residents are leaving the clinic frustrated and with unanswered questions.
They might ask themselves, is this a headache or is this headache that is in fact caused by the train derailment?
An opportunity to get help. On Friday, that's how Ohio Governor Mike DeWine described today's clinic.
We want them to be able to engage with the residents of East Palestine. We want them to be able to answer the residents' questions, evaluate symptoms, provide their medical expertise.
But here at that clinic today,
do you think this clinic is what people want? Do you think it's worth it?
And not to me, it wasn't. It was a waste of my time.
People came expecting one thing and left disappointed.
I want to know what I sucked in. And I thought that's what I was coming for here today, to do a chemical test and you get results. I got an evaluation.
Our cameras weren't allowed inside to see what's going on, but according to the Ohio Department of Health's website, registered nurses and mental health specialists are on hand inside for people who have medical questions or concerns.
Not a doctor or nothing, just some lady that asked me questions.
There's also a mobile unit parked outside, run by the county's Community Action Agency.
So the health department is here trying to help screen those people that have experienced things through a disaster and help connect them to the right places.
And there lies the disconnect, because although the intentions for this clinic may have been good, the feedback so far has been anything but.
I was told that I may be experiencing high levels of anxiety.
And so the CDC is also sending a team to East Palestine. It will include registered nurses, mental health specialists, and toxic chemical specialists. The Goliad ISD was dealing with a major water leak at Goliad Middle School this Wednesday afternoon. Water was cut off at the middle school for repairs. Administrators relocated students to other buildings for the remainder of the day.
A Proud Boys member charged in the January 6th Capitol insurrection wants former Trump to testify in his defense. Joseph Biggs and 4 co-defendants are on trial for their participation in that attack. In other trials, judges have rejected subpoenas for Trump, as well as arguments rioters were obeying his orders. Several Proud Boys attorneys have argued Trump called their clients to action when he told the far-right group to stand back and stand by during a 2020 debate. Tuesday, the U.S. Supreme Court ordered Title 42 to remain while legal challenges play out. The federal government uses the policy to expel asylum seekers without a hearing. The Supreme Court decision puts the federal trial court's ruling, which found the policy was invalid, on hold, while other issues are litigated on appeal. It also means federal authorities can continue quickly expelling migrants at the nation's borders over the next several months.
Prosecutors in Atlanta will issue indictments soon in relation to efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. It's just a question of how many. A grand jury spent months investigating former President Trump and his allies. The panel's 4-person implied it recommended more than 12 indictments. Ultimately, it's up to District Attorney Fani Willis to decide which indictments to pursue. Her team is evaluating evidence to decide whether to bring a narrow case or a spiraling one.
Crestwood Drive between Navarro Street and Lawrence Street now open to traffic in both directions. The reopening ends phase 2 of the Crestwood Drive reconstruction project. The City of Victoria says in the coming weeks, Crestwood Drive will have lane closures from time to time as crews make adjustments. Phase 3 will start March 6 and will last about 500 days. Crestwood Drive will close to eastbound traffic between Navarro Street and Main Street during this time.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca wave. Pilots in Matagorda Bay vouched for the deepening and widening of the Matagorda Ship Channel, and Jerry Smith is set to leave the Port Lavaca City Council. Plus, law enforcement made 21 arrests so far in the month of February. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com.
Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Alex Murdaugh's former law partner testifying in court in the double murder trial.
Also ahead, an Israeli raid killed at least 10 Palestinians Wednesday in the West Bank.
Y'all call, I haul. Our 5-star rated moving and junk removal team is dedicated to offer the best customer service and protection for all your valuables. We offer local moving, long distance moving, labor only moving, apartment moving, and junk removal. No matter the load, our team will take care of all your needs and do all the heavy lifting. Y'all call 361-541-6858. I haul. Simple booking process, licensed and insured.
My ex just posted a picture with a girl.
That girl is Hideous Mozart.
She's not.
Ugh, I know.
Should I be worried?
Nell's fine. She just needs like a little nudge.
You guys are trying to set me up on dates? I am a professional woman journalist. Woman.
I hear that really opens up the palate.
I'm me. 1, 2, 3, no apologies. I'm me.
You can enjoy endless entertainment and local news updates for free on our 17 over-the-air channels. Connect your TV antenna to your smart TV in 3 easy steps. Connect the coaxial cable from your antenna to the back of your TV. Select the menu button on your remote and navigate to the correct input of your antenna. Find the channel scan option and click it. Setting up your antenna will keep you entertained and informed with the latest weather updates and emergency information for free. Call or email for questions or more information. Stay connected and stay safe.
It would appear that the butler did it. But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event. Now that's a killer deal. Good thing this Rogue has a VC turbo engine, unlike RAV4.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on select models.
Catch these offers while you can.
An Israeli military raid kills at least 10 Palestinians in the West Bank Wednesday. More than 100 people were also hurt with live crossfire during the raid. Israeli authorities said the operation was targeting 3 suspects planning attacks. The raid brings the number of Palestinians killed this year to 61, which includes people shot as they attacked Israelis, militants targeted in raids, people clashing with Israeli forces during raids, and bystanders. The double murder trial continues for disgraced South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh. He is charged with killing his wife and their son, which happened within days of him being accused of extensive fraud at his namesake law firm. Murdaugh's former law partner testified today for the defense. Mark Ball said when he arrived at the family's property the night of the murders, he found Murdaugh crying and was devastated.
Looking around around the floor and all that, there was a piece of Paul's skull about the size of a baseball laying there.
Did that upset you?
It did, very much. I mean, it just really infuriated me. And I don't know who I was supposed to be mad at, but it just infuriated me that this young man had been murdered and there were still his remains there. And there was a large blood spot and tissue out right off of the apron of that area right outside the feed room that was there, and it's kind of like walking across a grave. It's one of those things you just don't do.
Lawyers on both sides have asked the judge about Alex Murdaugh possibly testifying. The defense team asked the judge to limit the scope of cross-examination to just the murder charges. The judge denied the request, but would review the scope against self-incrimination with Murdaugh. The CDC reports around 70% of adults in the U.S. struggle with obesity or their weight. Some are turning to drugs used to manage diabetes to lose weight.
And here's more on this weight loss trend.
In the struggle to shed pounds, it's a trend that's gained popularity on social media.
drugs first approved to treat diabetes, now helping some who are overweight or obese.
All of these drugs cause significant weight loss.
Endocrinologist Kathleen Dungan with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says semaglutide has gotten the most press recently. The FDA approved it for the management of diabetes in 2017 under the brand name Ozempic and for weight loss as Wegovy in 2021, but with some downsides.
Yes, side effects are relatively common with this class of medications. In particular, we see gastrointestinal side effects like nausea, vomiting. We can see diarrhea or constipation.
Dungan says for some, those side effects can be managed by starting on a low dose and dietary changes. For others, those effects may be too much. Because of its popularity, both Ozempic and Wegovy are on the FDA's list of drug shortages, making it harder for some who take it for diabetes to fill a prescription. To maintain the weight loss, Dungan says a patient has to stay on it.
We really only have data up to a few years past the initiation of the drug. So beyond that, we don't know really how, effective they are.
She says it's also important to focus on lifestyle changes like exercise and healthy eating. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A court hearing in Colorado Springs started today examining charges in the deadly Club Q mass shooting. 22-year-old Anderson Aldrich faces more than 300 criminal counts in connection with the November attack. 5 people died, 22 other people were hurt. Those charges include first-degree murder, attempted murder, and bias-motivated crimes. More charges are expected. The judge will decide if there's enough evidence to move forward with all the charges.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record this week. Congressman Michael Cloud meets with DeWitt County leaders and community members. And DeWitt County commissioners take no action over the behavior of some district attorney office employees. Plus, a local nonprofit looks to revive Cuero's historic Dale School. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Looking at some fog, moving back into the area. We'll talk all about it.
Hello, neighbor. Before you buy a home,
before you sell a home,
before you make any home improvements, call USA Foundation Repair.
A thorough and honest inspection is what you get from USA Foundation Repair.
We work with realtors and contractors on the front line every day doing inspections and repairs. Don't get taken to the train station. Get the USA Foundation Repair brand of approval. Call us today for an honest inspection.
The Twin Liquors Dollar Sale is this Thursday through Saturday only, and you won't want to miss it. National brands and local favorites alike are on sale at every one of our 100-plus locations.
This Thursday through Saturday only.
It's the Twin Liquors Dollar Sale.
When our law firm takes your case, it becomes part of our world. Everyone at the firm works together as a team to get the job done.
We work with each other. We go to trial together.
We're the ones that wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what to do next on a case. That's our job. That's what we're here for.
We help each other on cases, and that's why we get the results that we do.
We are members of this community, and when a member of this community trusts us with their case, we take that trust very seriously.
Thursday with the cast of Harlem, and I'm in season 2. I didn't know I was playing Lil Rel's mama. He said, I'm playing your son. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
All right, we'll start off in Cuero. Lots of blue out there today. A lot of sun, a little breezy, but very much on the warm side. Here is what happened today. 88 officially in Victoria. Other locations, though, eclipsing the 90-degree mark. That record was set for us here at 90 back in 1927. So we're almost pushing 20 degrees above where we're supposed to be for this time of year. Wind advisory, that is gone. What's going on is this boundary pushing in, starting to balance our winds in the area. All right, here's a look at our future temperatures. We hit 91, 92 in portions of the area today. This is what's going on. Okay, so we cool a little bit. We cool down into the mid to upper 60s. Remember, our average high is 71. We're cooling down to 69 overnight. And then for tomorrow, okay, a little bit cooler. Okay, we go from 88, 92 down to 78 to 82. That's not too bad. We're still almost 10 degrees above average throughout much of the area. So this boundary brought some drier air. That's going to allow us to cool down a little bit. What's going to happen, though, is we'll start to see return flow out of the Gulf again. That'll keep temperatures on the warm side for much of the week. But what it did, it balanced out our winds. We were very breezy and windy for a good couple of days with those wind advisories yesterday or last night in Victoria. We saw 47 mile per hour winds with areas, locations, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, pretty consistent throughout the area. All right, that's our future temperatures. Here's our dew points. Okay, they got knocked down a little bit as this boundary slowly pushing into the area. Those are getting taken down a little bit. So yeah, we'll be a little bit on the cooler side, but again, 80, 81, 82 degrees. Now here's what's going on is our winds, as they calm, the moisture returns out of the Gulf once again, and now we're dealing with this fog. Now it didn't really go away. It stayed on the coast last night, but now it's free to roam and move inland once again as these winds start to settle. So look at these visibilities getting taken down to a mile or less in some spots. So yes, fog can be very tricky. You want to drive on the slower side. Look, here's 9 o'clock in the morning. Visibility still impaired through in many locations. So you want to drive and be careful. Here's our winds again. Not too bad. 5, 10 mile per hour winds was yesterday. 47 mile per hour wind gusts here in Victoria. All right, here's that boundary. It's pushing through the area. Then it's going to kind of hang out, move off, and then settle. But then we have that warm front moving in, bringing this moisture. Now, this other boundary that's coming down is going to kind of stay to our north and zig and zag for several days and not push through. So what we'll see is that return flow of moisture out of the Gulf. That can allow for some showers, but very minuscule showers, if at best, because I'll show you that in a second in our other future tracker. Here's what we have for rain-wise, okay? The warm front moves in. We see a few scattered showers in the area, not really lasting too long. Very scattered nature because you're seeing wide open areas, not seeing any rain at all. All right, small craft advisory. Here is what we have. Winds coming down. Seas occasionally at 8 feet, but still you want to be careful on the waterway. So 60s this evening. Overnight, 67, mostly cloudy. Again, that fog activates and stays around until tomorrow morning, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey, we go from close to 90 to 80 degrees. That's not too bad. Looking ahead to Quero, again, a very warm week. I don't think the jacket needs to be put away by any means. Port Lavaca, very similar conditions. Then again, okay, getting knocked down to 80. I'll take that. 90 might be a little too warm, especially this early in the year. But either way, I think from my standpoint, looking very, very nice. For more weather, news, and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com, and that is free with any Android and iPhone. James, Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Howie. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at Wall Street, plus National Public Radio cutting 10% of its staff.
An authentic taste of Italy, Joe's Pizza and Pasta prepares handmade, fresh-to-order meals daily. Call us to book a reservation or to cater your event and give your guest an unforgettable experience with the finest Italian food the Crossroads has to offer. Treat yourself and your guests to favorites like our lobster and shrimp ravioli, chicken fettuccine alfredo, and veal piccata. For your authentic taste of Italy, visit Joe's Pizza and Pasta. We are now hiring for various positions. Contact us today to join the team.
Stay up to date with what's happening in the Crossroads by downloading the Crossroads Today mobile app. You'll get instant alerts to your phone or tablet the minute breaking news or weather happens. Only the free Crossroads Today mobile app features weather updates for local sports. The Crossroads Today app gives you the ability to stream our daily newscasts when you're on the go and share pictures or tips straight to our newsroom and so much more. Brought to you locally by Prosperity Bank with 12 locations serving the Crossroads area.
Every day we help kids navigate the realities of the world. and make healthy, lifelong choices. Kids learn about alcohol, tobacco, and drugs in lots of ways, often from friends and siblings. While kids may hear lots of harmful information, parents do play a huge role in helping them make the right decision. Talking to your child, sitting down to a family meal at night just to discuss how their day went, or encouraging extracurricular activities can make all the difference.
Female bodybuilding scandal? Next, Inside Edition. Do photo shoots like this hide a shocking secret? What they say it took to win.
Once the video was released, I was mortified.
Inside the competitive world of female bodybuilders, what she says happened to her. Then, Buster takes the stand. Will his defense of dad change anything? Next, Inside Edition.
Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow gaining 83 points, the S&P up 8 points, and the Nasdaq gains 31 points. Oil down $2.41, closing at $73.95 a barrel. National Public Radio, or NPR, will lay off about 10% of its workforce next month. A memo from the chief executive says the network is projecting a $30 million budget shortfall. A spokesperson says NPR is eliminating roughly 100 positions to cover this gap. The public broadcaster is home to shows like Morning Edition and All Things Considered. It's the latest media outlet to make cuts amid a dramatic slowdown in advertising.
Existing home sales in the U.S. fell to their lowest level in 12 years in January. The latest data from the National Association of Realtors today reports the pace of decline slowed. Tuesday's report also shows a small increase in annual house prices since 2012. January's figures did mark the 12th straight monthly decline in sales. Mortgage rates have ticked upward after strong economic data suggests the Fed might continue their rate hike campaign through the summer to lower inflation.
Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, Florida is thinking about making it illegal for dogs to stick their heads out of car windows.
They sentenced me to 10 days in jail before I could even get back home. My phone was blowing up from people's parents, other people, like, how could you, so irresponsible? And you go from thinking that I'm this good guy and everything's, working out for me to all of a sudden, like, I'm a felon.
My ex just posted a picture with a girl.
That girl is Hidayah Mozart. She's not. I know.
I hear that really opens up the palate.
This is Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. So get into Ford Truck Month, Texas, and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. Drive Ford F-150 with 0.9% for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance.
No one wants to think about emergency care until they need it. But when that time comes, Victoria ER is here for you and your family. Our board-certified physicians are available 24/7, so there's never a wait. Whether you need a CAT scan, X-ray, lab work, or even pediatric care, we've got you covered with all the modern medical technology you would expect from a hospital ER. We're committed to personalizing your experience and getting you on your way as quickly and efficiently as possible at Victoria ER.
Weather in the Crossroads can be disruptive, like the big flood, Hurricane Harvey, and the Arctic blast.
Conditions can change in an instant, which is why we're committed to keeping you and your family safe.
Warning you in advance with weather alert days, on air, online, and on our Crossroads Today mobile app.
From Victoria to Cuero and Port Lavaca, the 25 News Now First Warn Storm Team helps you plan your day every day.
You had tenants and they weren't paying rent.
Yes, Your Honor. A lawyer turns on the landlord who hired him.
This is not a traditional attorney-client agreement, Your Honor. You're the lawyer. Everything is a traditional attorney-client arrangement.
Does he have a legal leg to stand on?
Now you want him to pay you an additional $1,116. What else did you do? Well, have you ever been disbarred?
Briefly, yes, Your Honor.
Next, Judge Judy.
In Florida, it may be illegal for dogs to stick their heads out the window of a moving car. That's part of an animal welfare bill. The measure would ban owners from letting dogs put their heads out the window of moving vehicles and sitting in laps while driving. The act in itself is debatable, but if a window is open enough for a dog to stick its head out, they could potentially jump out or get a foreign object in their eye.
There are potential hazards that go along with hanging your head out the window, just like your children. Run the risk of sticks and debris getting in the eyes. Well, dogs do the same thing. If your head can fit out, it is not impossible for dogs to fit the rest of their bodies out as well. We do get a number of dogs every year who fall out of vehicles.
So the bill also includes making it illegal to declaw cats and limits the time animals can be tethered outside. Finally, the bill would create a registry of animal abusers. Interesting. Cute dog there.
Yeah, the last one?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah,
Little
it's
chihuahua.
bald.
Yeah.
And we have time for one more check of the weather with Howie Gordon.
Thanks, Karina. I'm glad they're trying to keep animals on the safe side. All right, let's stay on the safe side with our driving. Look where our visibilities are getting taken down to. A mile or less in some spots. So yes, the winds start to rescend and then the fog moves back into the area and it looks to hang around maybe till about 9 o'clock in the morning. So this evening we'll be in the 60s, partly cloudy. We'll drop down to 67, mostly cloudy with that fog again lingering to the morning hours. Hey, 80, okay, we're close to 90 today. We get knocked down 80, still staying almost 10 degrees above average. Looking ahead to the rest of the week. I'm not going to argue with it. Some of you might want it cooler. It's still winter, but okay, we get knocked down to 80, 80, 80. We get as cool as 78 for a few of those days and bounce back into the mid 80s. So looking pretty nice with a mix of clouds and sun. James, Karina?
All right, Howie, thank you. Thank you for being with us. Remember, we're always on at Crossroads Today Plus.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with Dave Amir is up next.